there are a few passions that Gabe brings to our missionary body, and all of them are Mary.
My favorite is Gabe's. Your license plate is try Mary. Try Mary.
Give it a try.
Nothing else has worked. Try Mary. I just wonder what people think. Like, they're like? Well, what does that mean?
It's good incentive not to speed super fast.
Yeah, that's
especially in
true.
the school zone.
That's true.
I've never done that before.
John's brilliant in the way he writes his gospel because he refers to himself as the beloved disciple, right? And whenever he speaks of himself, he's intentional not to make it about himself. He's actually what I experienced. You reader, you too are called into, right? And I love I was just speaking yesterday on this. It says in the Gospels, it says that from that moment, the disciple took her into his home. But in the actual Greek, the word home isn't there. It's actually added. It actually says in the Greek, it says from that moment on, the disciple took her into his own. And this idea that he actually, in the same way that Jesus had Mary in his heart and the love and affection that Jesus had for Mary, John internalized that and took Mary into his own, that he received that relationship, not just the order that you need to care for her now and take her into your home, but actually this relational dynamic that I'm receiving you into my heart. And John welcomes us that this is, in order to be the beloved disciple, part of being the beloved disciple is to take Mary into your own.
Yeah.
If God can use any of us to do be his instruments in missionary evangelization, different things like that. But I also am like, I wouldn't be surprised if God was like, I'm going to use Our Lady as a tool of vengeance against the devil, right? And kind of how sin came through Eve, right? Mary brings what? She brings forth the new fruit of life, Christ. And and it says in scriptures that God says, I will put enmity between you and the woman. And I just really do believe that Our Lady just has just this intense, just like focus against just unraveling the devil. And, just different saints talk about this, but I'm just like thinking, it's like, if you for a moment think that you killed my son, right, in the worst possible way, I don't think she's going to be super happy with that. And so,
that is true. There's nothing more scary than the wrath of an angry mother.
An angry mom!
Oh, man. So she has mercy on you when you're a dirtbag,
right?
Gabe, but she has all of that vengeance against the evil one.
Against the evil one, exactly. Yeah. And I've just read, just all these different stories, how they say, that Mary is the key to just unraveling just all of these different things. And, it's like, so, the three things that we go up against, are the world, the flesh, and the devil. I would posit that the hardest one to overcome is, well, I don't know, the devil. I don't know. You have an infernal enemy who's smarter than you, has way more drive, is way more consistent, and all he wants to do is bring you to hell for eternity.
Yeah.
But you know who he's really afraid of? Well, I don't know, the one who God said, I'm going to put enmity between you two.
Yeah.
And how it literally says that she's going to crush the head of the devil. And so, I'm a little bit of a sadist. And so I was kind of like, well, if the rosary is like what brings the devil the most pain, I'm just going to pray the rosary more, different things like that. And so, and I've read just all these different things. And, obviously, this is private revelation in the sense that it's like, as long as it doesn't go to the teaching of the faith, and whatever, it's legit. But, obviously it's not necessary for salvation. And one of the things is that, I've read all these exorcists, and they say that, like, they'll ask the devil, like, just like a casual conversation or something like that. It's like what happens, like, when, like, you pray the rosary. And, the devil will say things like, it is like the most horrific prayer for him. And he'll have like all these like blows against his head. It's crazy stuff. And for a long time, I was kind of like, yeah, but the devil would probably lie about it. And he's probably, just like whatever. But then I was like, wait a second. Hold on. If the devil didn't want you to pray the rosary, he'd be like, oh, it does nothing to me. I'm not going to, it's like he's way smarter than that.
Well, it's precisely, it goes against his arrogance, right? That, like,
right.
The reason that the evil one fell is because he didn't love at all God's plan for the salvation of man.
Correct.
And if he despised that, he would despise more than anything God's immaculate plan to raise up a woman slave,
Right.
right? Like a handmaid, and to allow her to be the vehicle that salvation was brought into the world.
Correct.
Like that just goes, it flies
yeah.
right in his face.
Yeah.
I know I've been teasing you for your license plate. I actually, when I first saw it, I was struck by it because it is actually a very profound phrase that try Mary. So there are strongholds in your life, demonic strongholds that maybe you've been battling for a long time. And I just wonder, have you tried Mary, right? That if Gabe, what you're suggesting is there's nothing scarier than the wrath of an angry mom.
I don't know. If you guys can think of something scary, let me know.
No, I can agree. No, but to try Mary, to actually invite those areas of strongholds, the sins that you haven't had victory over, maybe anxiety, depression, those areas, those relational, those brokenness in relationships. Invite Mary into those and try and allow the power of God to be released to bring breakthrough in those areas.